Live from the campus of Washington and Lee University with news for Rockbridge County, this is the Rockbridge Report.
Welcome to the Rockbridge Report's continued live coverage of Virginia's 2023 election. I'm Liz Trubeck.
And I'm Erica Kenny. Tonight, the balance of power is on the line in both state chambers. Let's see how the results are playing out. Currently, the Virginia Senate results have come in. Democrats have won 17 seats and Republicans have won 14 seats. In the House of Delegates, things are a little bit different. Democrats have won 40 seats and Republicans have won 31 seats.
Now we'll take a look at how the local Senate and House delegate races are playing out. Alrighty, so over in the 3rd District for the State Senate, we have Christopher Head. This election has been called. He is coming in with 66% of the vote, 27,481 to be exact. And Jade Harris trailing behind at 14,367 votes with 34%. There are currently 73 out of 102 precincts reporting. Next, moving on to still in the 3rd District, but Buena Vista. Christopher Head has won that one as well with 687 votes, 75% of the vote, and Jade Harris with 230 votes, 25% of the vote. 2 out of 3 precincts have been reported. And next, moving on to Lexington, where Jade Harris is in the lead. There are 971 votes for her with 66% of the vote, and Christopher Head has 499 votes and 34%. There are currently 1 of 2 precincts reporting in Lexington. And lastly, moving on to Rockbridge County, Christopher Head is in the lead with 3,716 votes and 73% of the vote, and Jade Harris is trailing behind with 1,390 votes and 27% of the vote. There are currently 17 out of 18 precincts reporting.
Now let's look at the House of Delegate race in the 37th and 36th districts, starting with the 37th district. Republican incumbent Terry Austin has won the race with 67% of the vote, totaling 8,380 votes, while Democrat Stephanie Clark has lost with 33% of the vote, 4,159 votes in total. This is with 30 out of 55 precincts reporting. Moving on to specifically how this race fared in Buena Vista, Republican Terry Austin still won the city of Buena Vista with 677 votes, with 74% of the vote, and Stephanie Clark had 240 votes with 26% of the vote. This is with 2 out of the 3 precincts reporting. In the city of Lexington, Stephanie Clark won the vote with 970 votes, 66%, while Republican incumbent Terry Austin won 503 votes with 34% of the vote. This is with 1 out of the 2 precincts reporting. And in the 36th district, Republican incumbent Ellen Campbell has won the race with 11,507 votes with 63% of the vote, while Democrat Randall Wolf has lost with 688,747 votes, 37% of the vote. This is with 29 out of 31 precincts reporting.
Republicans have a lot to smile about in the Rockbridge area, with their candidates leading in 2 House of Delegate races and 1 Senate race. Now, we are joined by our Caden Buss, who is standing by at Salerno's, where Republicans share their thoughts after multiple races have been called in their favor here. Caden?
Caden Buss back here at Salerno's, where Republicans are gathered to watch tonight's election results. I'm here with local GOP chairman. So, how are you feeling about tonight's local election results?
Well, the results we already know have been great so far. We have now a new state senator, Chris Head, 2 delegates representing Rockbridge County, Ellen Campbell and Terry Austin, and both won by considerable margin. So feeling great about that.
And then how are you feeling about on the statewide level for Republicans?
I think we're in for probably a long evening. It looks like some of the results are already seeing so far, the numbers are pretty close.
All right. And then do you think we have any more surprises in store for us tonight?
I sure hope so, and I sure hope so there'll be good surprises. So I can't make any predictions, but hopefully keep the House, flip the Senate is kind of the repeated phrase Governor Youngkin has used to cheer on the troops and hopefully put us over the goal line.
Awesome. Well, thanks for your time, Doug. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Caden. We now have results for the Buena Vista City Council. 7 candidates are running for 3 seats on the council. Here are the numbers so far. Ronald Cash is in the lead with 18% of the vote and 408 votes. Michelle Polokis is next with 395 votes, 17% of the vote. Stanley Coffey, the incumbent, is next with 375 votes, 16% of the vote. This is with 2 out of 3 precincts reporting. Cheryl Heckman, another incumbent, is next with 16% of the vote, 363 votes, while Stephen Webb is in the last with 340 votes, 15% of the vote. This is still with 2 out of 3 precincts reporting. In the Buena Vista City Council, we currently have no data on the election. This was 0 out of 3 precincts reporting. And in the Buena Vista City School Board, we have Paula Charlton is in the lead with 476 votes, 22% of the vote. Teresa Ellison, an incumbent, is next with 434 votes, 20% of the vote. While Mac Felt Jr. is next with 414 votes, 19% of the vote. Wayne Flint, another incumbent, is next with 406 votes, 19% of the vote, while Kay Brooke Baker is next with 388 votes, 18% of the total vote. This is with 2 out of 3 precincts reporting.
And now looking at Rockbridge County Treasurer, in the lead we have Melissa Whitesell, and she has 2,230 votes with 47% of the vote. Next up we have Michelle Clark with 2,048 votes, 44% of the vote. And lastly, Wendy Gillum with 372 votes, 8% of the vote. This is with 17 out of 18 precincts reported. And now looking at Rockbridge County Board of Supervisors in the Buffalo District, we have Max Smith in the lead with 574 votes, 52% of the vote, and Leslie Ayers, the incumbent, with 529 votes and 48% of the vote. And this is with 4 out of 5 precincts reporting. And then on to the next one, we have Ann Russick with 540 votes, 54% of the vote, and then Lena Ogier with 454 votes and 45% of the votes. And this is with 4 out of 5 precincts reporting.
Moving on to the Glasgow mayoral race, Paul Williams, the incumbent, has won with 79% of the vote, 137 votes, while Joshua Fitz is trailing behind with only 21 votes, 12% of the total vote. This is with 1 out of 2 precincts reporting. Coming up in the Rockbridge Report, we've got some key races across the country that have been called. We'll break it down with our analysts after the break.
Welcome back to the Rockbridge Report's live election night coverage. Now we welcome back Republican analyst Henry Hayden and Democratic analyst Foster Harris, who will share their thoughts on the election results thus far. Foster, Democratic Governor Andy Beshear won re-election in Kentucky. How big is this victory for Democrats?
This is a really big win, right? And as I've been saying, this really elevates him into the national conversation. But, I got to say, if you're Joe Biden right now, this looks like good news. It's good bellwether. I think it's something like the past 5 times in this sort of 1 year before presidential, a Democrat has won, or I think the party that has won Kentucky has gone on to won the actual thing. So maybe that's good. Maybe it's a red herring. But, there's the recent New York Times poll that showed Biden down considerably to Trump. And then you look at generic polling, a generic Democrat versus a generic Republican. The generic Democrat's doing pretty well. That spells a pretty bad picture for Joe Biden. So would this then be a compelling pitch to elect someone like Andy Beshear instead of Joe Biden? I don't know.
Wow, that's really interesting. And Henry, what do you think this result means for Republicans?
Yeah, so kind of considering the implications for the Republican strategy here on out, Daniel Cameron was someone who was supported largely by Mitch McConnell, more along a moderate tact. We'll have to wait and see whether Kentucky Republicans choose to take a more Trump-aligned route or someone that has a more aggressive approach than Daniel Cameron. So that's kind of what we'll be looking for there, I think.
Sticking with you, Henry, in Mississippi, Governor Tate Reeves has an early lead over Democrat Brandon Presley. Do you see that holding up when all the votes are in?
Yeah, I do. I think that the Mississippi Republicans have had a fairly strong performance. The Democrats there have had some small gains. I think that things could tighten up in the end, and there could be a potential runoff. We've seen that in some commentary online from some pundits, but I think we can expect probably a Republican victory in Mississippi.
Foster, Ohio has voted to make the right to an abortion protected by the state constitution. They also voted to legalize recreational marijuana. Are these key victories for the Democratic Party?
Yeah, for sure. And you've seen them. You've seen this across states, right? where on Virginia, Glenn Youngkin tried to flip the script on abortion. It doesn't seem to be working. In Kentucky, that's something that Beshear repeatedly hit Cameron on, that issue. And then in Ohio, it's literally on the ballot, and Democrats are doing well. I think going back to Beshear, I think one thing that he did really well was he stuck to the issues. In his acceptance speech for winning re-election, he mentioned that Daniel Cameron focused more on personal attacks on Beshear than actual issues, and Beshear focused on the issues themselves. The issues, as Ohio shows, are ones like with marijuana and abortion, where Democrats are on the right side of what the public wants to see.
Awesome. And Foster, in Virginia, more state Senate and House of Delegate results are coming in, and the Democrats have a slight lead at the moment. Do you think they'll maintain that advantage when the night ends?
Yeah, I mean, once again, this was a great chance for Democrats to go in the offensive despite Governor Glenn Youngkin getting involved in really personal way and cash injection type way. It looks like we're going to keep the state Senate. I know that a lot of those races haven't been called, but it looks good for the Democrats. And then on the House, where we get to go on the offensive and try to then retake that. I mean, you even have a race like the Susanna Gibson race, the 57th district, where Susanna Gibson is the Democratic candidate, a scandal-ridden candidate, and that race is still going toe-to-toe. I mean, that one could be going, late, almost all into the night, and we still might not know who's winning that. That's how powerful this wave has been for Democrats in this election in Virginia and in Kentucky as well.
Thanks, Foster and Harris. Foster, can you tell us where viewers can learn more about Mock Convention 2024?
Yeah, for sure. You can visit our website at mockconvention.com. But listen, this is a thing that 98% of the student body gets involved in. And we're excited to involve the county and the town as well, especially with our parade.
Thank you so much to our panelists for coming on and talking about these elections. When we come back, we'll let you know who the candidates are that won the uncontested races.
Welcome back to the Rockbridge Report's live election night coverage. 14 out of 23 races tonight across Buena Vista, Lexington, and Rockbridge County are uncontested. Let's get into who will be filling those seats. First, starting with the Commonwealth's attorney for Lexington and Rockbridge County, Jared Moon will win re-election. This is the third straight time he has ran unopposed.
Incumbent Steve Funkhauser will be re-elected as sheriff of Rockbridge County. He was first elected in 2019 and has been with the Rockbridge County Sheriff's Department since 1996. Tyson Cooper will be the next mayor of Buena Vista. He is currently on the city council and was endorsed by the current mayor, Billy Fitzgerald.
Amy Hudson will win her first election as treasurer of Buena Vista after starting in the position in April, following the retirement of the previous treasurer. In Buena Vista, Robert G. Deo and Herbie Humphin will win more terms as Soil and Water Conservation District directors. Deo has been in office since 2016 and Huffman since 2020. In Lexington, Billy Gross Jr. and Charles T. Winder are running as Soil and Conservation District directors. Winder works as a laboratory instructor at Washington and Lee University. Gross is a local farmer.
Now let's take a look at some Rockbridge County races that went uncontested. Brooke N. Tomlin will pull a home victory for the Rockbridge County Commissioner of Revenue. Timothy L. Goodbar will win re-election as Natural Bridge Soil and Water Conservation District. He's been in the office since 2020. David B. McDaniel will represent the Natural Bridge District on the Rockbridge County Board of Supervisors.
This time in South River District, Bob Day will now be on the Rockbridge County Board of Supervisors. To the school board, Kathy Burant will represent the Natural Bridge District. And
lastly, Neil D. Whitmore will represent the Walkers Creek District in the school board. Lisa Bowers-Rogers and Tom Camden will be re-elected in the Glasgow Town Council. They were both previously elected in 2021. There's still one more open seat on the council.
That will wrap up our live election night coverage for the 2023 election in Virginia. For more coverage on tonight's races, check out our website, rockbridgereport.wlu.edu, and stay tuned for our live Thursday broadcast here on Xfinity Channel 18 at 5:30 on Friday.